So this will cover these three parts: bioaugmentation, benefits of probiotics, results of application in pond shrimp aquaculture. So bioaugmentation is the concept of reducing the accumulation of organic waste to environmentally safe levels through the use of micro or macroorganisms. So in shrimp culture, this was first successful in studies that were reported by Maida and Liao in the hatchery, and also by Dr. Dave Moriarty in ponds. Research in bioaugmentation has resulted in advances in the development of what we now call probiotics. So probiotics are single species or a group or combination of microorganisms without pathogenic effects on their host or the shrimp, and have been. So these are the challenges facing shrimp aquaculture producers. We have the environment, we have the host or the shrimps that we grow, and also the presence of pathogen. So in the pond environment, as we add more feed and there are more animals in the pond, it results to deteriorating water and pond bottom quality. And then for our hosts or the shrimp in higher stocking densities, this will increase stress coming from various factors in the pond. And then pathogens will have a higher chance of creating disease as a result of these deteriorating water pond bottom quality, as well as stress factors on our culture shrimps. So these are the benefits of important effect on our culture shrimp, nitrites, which is very toxic to our culture shrimps. And waste are produced inside the pond. So here, probiotic denitrification of both ammonia and nitrites. So here's a illustration of how the waste in the pond is
Rapid
metabolized.
breakdown of organic
So
waste. So
here,
feeds,
we introduce our probiotics, generally
feeds
Bacillus
is wood.
species in the pond.
Also
And
plankton
then
is waste.
as they grow in the pond, it creates a Bacillus biomass. So it multiplies and it would eat up the waste that would produce Bacillus metabolites or compounds that are easily absorbed by phytoplankton that's suitable for their growth and will eventually be consumed by zooplankton. It's also feed for our shrimps. But of course, in intensive high density shrimp farming, we introduce feeds. So this is the main source of organic waste in our pond. So the effect of or the benefit of probiotics is the support of rapid breakdown of pond organic waste. So how much organic waste is produced in a, say, 1 hectare shrimp pond with biomass of 20 tons? So with FCR of 1.4, total feeds is 28,000 kilograms consumed. So are all the feeds absorbed by the shrimp? So these are the sources of waste in the pond coming from feed or excess feed and the fecal waste matter of the shrimp and also the molted shell. So these are three strategies in managing nitrogenous waste. Okay. So first, feed using good quality diet. So good quality feeds will have better water stability. It will not easily dissolve in the pond water. So it will not easily pollute our ponds. And also part of this management is we avoid overfeeding to minimize accumulation of waste in the pond. Next is to apply good quality probiotic to optimize removal through beneficial microorganisms. And another strategy is now being practiced by many farms is the use of center draining or sludge pumping. So this to maximize waste removal. We do sludge draining or center draining using pumps or center drain. But of course, center draining can have its limitation because it will only remove waste in the center part of the pond. That's why application of probiotic still a very good strategy to remove pond waste all over the. Uh, so this is your illustration of proper feeding. So as we mentioned, the good feed quality is important. Then in most farms, we do manual feeding. So the feeders should take into consideration the proper and equal distribution of the feed in the pond and feeding the or broadcasting the feeds in the clean area of the pond. And of course, the in the farms, that's very important to monitor feed consumption, especially on demand feeding. And this method of monitoring the feeds in the pond will help us avoid overfeeding, especially during times that shrimps would undergo massive molting. So we can easily and adjust feed allocation every time our shrimps would molt and feeding activity would be significantly reduced. So here's a proper probiotic application in ponds. First is the weighing. So we should use the recommended amount of probiotics per unit area so that there will be sufficient population for it to become more effective. Because if we underdose, it will not produce the desired result. And then the proper mixing with water and application in the pond. So here's a proper probiotic application properly in order for the probiotic to be strategy in reducing pond waste or organic waste in the pond. Because if you apply probiotic in the feeds, it will help or improve the digestibility of feeds that's being consumed by the shrimp. So there will be more feed absorbed and digested by the shrimp, and this will result to less fecal matter that will contribute to the total or overall organic waste in the pond. So here we can see a sludge removal. So you can see a center sludge pit. So this is practiced by many farms already, especially the plastic lined ponds. Some farms would refer to this as a shrimp toilet. So the purpose of this is to collect sludge in the middle of the pond where a pump or a center drain would be able to remove organic waste in the middle of the pond. So here on the we have a picture of a sludge being pumped out. So we have dirty water. Then after the sludge removal, becomes much clearer and cleaner. So these are the benefits of probiotics in the pond, water, and soil. So it breaks down ammonia, especially if we have problems of high pH, where the unionized ammonia becomes toxic to shrimps. And also it reduces nitrite levels, hydrogen sulfide, suspended solids, and other accumulated organic waste. So the result will be improved soil and water quality, also prevent growth of disease-causing bacteria that is directly related to high organic waste levels. So another benefit of probiotics is to control pathogen in the pond environment. So probiotics control pathogen in shrimp aquaculture by different modes. Okay, so here first we can see control pathogenic bacteria by direct inhibition, and probiotics microorganisms produce enzymes and substances with antimicrobial properties, and also select bacterial strains in high concentration, dominates pond microflora, and control pathogenic bacteria by competitive exclusion. So this is how our probiotic works in the pond. That's why we need to apply it regularly for it to be effective in competitive exclusion. And we have to apply a sufficient amount in the pond for it to dominate, because we have this concept of succession of generation that a dominant bacteria will eventually be subside in population, and another species will again dominate. So to maintain a good microflora of beneficial bacteria, we regularly introduce our probiotic weekly, or depending on the level of organic waste and the level of pathogenic bacteria present in our pond water and in our shrimps. So here's a graph of bacterial dynamics in the pond soil. Okay, so you can see the graph of Bacillus and Vibrio. So when probiotic bacteria dominates the pond soil, the Vibrio population will be diminished. So the effect of probiotics on pond water Vibrio level. So you can see in the graph, we have the graph for the green colonies and also the yellow colonies. So as you can see on the graph, the Vibrio levels start to increase from day DOC19 and peak at 33 DOC and up to 60 DOC. So this is very important information. That's why most farms that are affected by the early mortality syndrome would experience mortalities during this period from DOC 20 going up to DOC 60. So this graph shows that our Vibrio level in the pond water increases exponentially during this period. So it's very important to note that we have to control Vibrio levels before they reach their peak levels. So this on the pond 2, another pond with almost similar Vibrio levels. Here we can see Vibrio count. Green colonies start to peak starting the OC19 up to 33 and 36. So as you can see, the Vibrio levels went down because of interventions done in the farm with the proper application of organic-based disinfectants together with highly efficient probiotics. And as you can see on the graph, starting the OC64 up to 90 is the full harvest. we can notice that the Vibrio levels have already been diminished or could not be detected on the previous pond. So this is the result if we regularly apply our pond probiotics, that they will become more the dominant strain in the pond, and that the Vibrio levels will not have any more the chance to increase or grow in their population. So another benefit of probiotics is on our feed management. So probiotics applied and incorporated in the feeds support shrimp digestion and control pathogenic bacteria. So it supports shrimp gut wellness and digestion. So probiotics support digestion and produces enzymes that help digest shrimp feed more efficiently. So this will result in improved digestibility of feeds and improved feed conversion ratio and faster growth rate. So probiotic also support shrimp against pathogen. So it covers the gut lining membrane and prevent entry of growth of pathogenic Vibrio bacteria. It protects the midgut and hepatopancreas from presence of pathogenic Vibrio bacteria. So the result will be the control, the entry of pathogenic Vibrio in the shrimp gut and improve its disease resistance. And also protection from the early mortality syndrome or APEN caused by the Vibrio parahemolyticus. So this is an interesting graph done by a study on the danger of co-infection of WSSB and Vibrio. So, as you can see in the graph, challenge and white spot challenge done on the shrimps. So on this study, the results showed that with the Vibrio being challenged to the shrimps, we have a cumulative mortality of around 10 to 20%, starting from 24 hours or a day after hours post-injection. Okay. Then for WSSV, we can see mortality starting from the OC96 and up to 324 hours. It reaches up to 100% mortality. But we can notice that if there's co-infection of white spot and Vibrio, after 24 hours, mortality increases exponentially, and in 72 to 96 hours, all our shrimps are already gone. So this is an illustration of our shrimp and the effect of probiotics on the gut microflora. So as we can see, we have the mouth of the shrimp and the mid-gut, where the hepatopancreas is located, is the single most important organ in the shrimps. So all the biochemical processes related to growth and survival and health of the shrimp occurs here in the hepatopancreas. So this is very important that we protect this organ of the shrimp. So if we apply probiotics in the feed, and if we can achieve this situation where the probiotics would line the membrane of the gut, it would protect the midgut and the hepatopancreas, especially from very important strategy in protecting our shrimps when we use probiotics that we mix in our feeds. So probiotics is a good tool for better shrimp farm management. So proper application of probiotics supported by good aquaculture practices and sound farm management would result in improved and sustainable shrimp production. So probiotics in itself, it's not a silver bullet that can answer all our problems in the shrimp farm, but when properly applied, it could help and support shrimp growth and survival. So here, it's we'll show later experiences in the farm that use this integrated science-based approach to shrimp aquaculture. So bioremediation, or the use of probiotics, supports environment-friendly shrimp culture, which is a key foundation in sustainable shrimp farming. So we don't want to pollute our immediate pond environment and also our neighboring environment where we source our coastal water areas. Okay. So we combine this bioremediation with proper application of technology, feeding management, water and waste management, shrimp health monitoring, disease monitoring, and laboratory analysis have shown promising and successful results in shrimp farms. So here, let me show you results of application in pond shrimp aquaculture based on actual farm experience on probiotic use and effect on pond organic waste, particularly ammonia nitrite, and overall shrimp health management and disease mitigation. So these farm experience or results that we will show is based on work with. So we so first we did some analysis and assessment of the problems that they have encountered in the farm. So based on their history or data, we made recommendations on how to address those specific problems. So here are some of the results. So results of good water management and application of probiotics in this farm in Iloilo. So ammonia and nitrate levels were significantly reduced. So this farm previously have experienced high ammonia levels almost throughout the culture period, especially when they're already feeding a lot after the shrimp are doing demand feeding. So in this case, we can see that from the 4th week to the 8th week, ammonia and nitrite were significantly reduced. So using probiotics and proper water management. So this is another farm in Sarangani that has also experienced high ammonia and nitrate levels in their previous crops and have experienced mortalities. So we worked in partnership with them, and we did some assessment on their previous crops on what were the possible source of their problem, on their mortalities, and also on their high ammonia and nitrate levels. So we did a run on this farm, and this is the result in one pond. So ammonia and nitrate levels were significantly reduced in this farm. Better survival rate at 98% in this pond, in one pond, and a higher biomass of 9 tons in a 0.4 hectare area, or is equivalent to 22.5 tons per hectare. So we achieved good growth rates, and no more mortalities were observed during this crop. And during the harvest, we got an average body weight of 30.06 grams. In the grow out, we had it's a total of 81 days in the grow out and 29 days in the nursery. So final harvest at 110 DOC. So this is another farm in Jansan that have experienced high Vibrio levels in the water. So we have 2 ponds here. The first pond, so this analysis started on the 3rd week of their culture. is the first on the first analysis in the lab. Pond 1 had a reading of TNPC, and the technician here has noticed that the shrimp had a reduced feeding activity. So they applied preventive measures to disinfection and application of probiotics. And after 2, 3, and the 4th week, we can notice here that Vibrio levels have been reduced until harvest. Okay. So these two ponds, pond 1 is an area of 5,400, and it has harvested 15,235 kilos, survival of 98%, and EBW of 18 grams. For pond 2, with an area of 4,600, total harvest was 10,257 kilograms, survival of 87%, and EBW of 22 grams. Okay, so this is another case in Jansan, where in 5 ponds, there were 4 ponds that tested positive for white spot. Okay, it was pond 2 to 5. So it's good that this farm did submit samples to the lab before 30 days, before 30 DOC, to test the shrimps for possible infection. And the result came out that the 4 ponds were positive for white spot, and only 1 pond was white spot was not detected. So this farm, when they detected that they have white spot present in the 4 ponds, so they did close monitoring, especially the ammonia and nitrate levels in the pond, and also the Vibrio levels in the pond water and in the shrimp. So they had intervention here through proper disinfection of the pond water, and also use of probiotics and feed supplementation in high doses, because knowing that their 4 ponds were already infected with white spot. So 2 to 3 weeks after, when the first result came out, the 4 ponds have tested negative, or white spot was not detected. So their intervention somehow did work for them. Okay? And these are the results of the harvest in the ponds. The 4 ponds that are tested positive still had a very good total harvest. Okay? For an area of 5,400, they harvested 11 tons, and for 4,600, 9.3 tons. Another pond with 4,600 square meter area, 11.8 tons, and 0.54 hectare area, harvested 12.3 tons, and the 7.7 hectare area harvested 16 tons. And those ponds affected had a survival of 84 to 95%. So this is another farm in northern Luzon that had experienced mortalities in their previous crop early this year, and they have a presence of WSSB, also high Vibrio count and high ammonia levels. So we did collaborative work with this farm, and this is the result of the harvest in 3 ponds, an area of 7,500 and 7,320 square meter, a density of 109, 180 square meter per square, I mean. And here, the final harvest was done at DOC 117 for pond 1 and 2, and DOC 97 for pond 3. And total harvest for pond 1 was 16.3 tons with ABW of 27, and pond 2 15.9 tons with ABW of 26.3, and pond 3 biomass of a total harvest of 12.2 tons with ABW of 28 grams. And they achieved a very good survival here and a good FCR as compared to the previous crop. So this pond, actually the The fry was first stuck in the nursery for around 17 to 18 days before they were transferred to the grow out. So in this farm, they use probiotics and good aquaculture practices like proper water management and waste or sludge management. Okay, so they were able to address the high Vibrio levels and high ammonia levels in the farm. So this is another farm in Iloilo with a stocking density of 100 per square meter. So the farm has experienced previously high Vibrio count. They were positive for upend and high ammonia levels. So just this year, they have these two ponds that had very good results. And we can see the average body weight in pond 4 at the OC100 is 41.8, and the OC107 is 44.43, and the OC111 it's 45.87, with a survival of 87% and total harvest of 11.2 tons in a 5,556 square meter area, with a final harvest FCR of 1.21. In Pond 5, they had an ABW of 46.8 grams at 107 days, 51 grams at 114, and during the final harvest, 53.57 grams, with survival of 88%, total harvest of 12.7 tons, and FCR of 1.25. So this farm was able to address their problems on Vibrio, and upend, and high ammonia levels, and this is the result of their harvest. So shrimp farmers face many, so it supports healthy pond environment, control pathogen in the pond environment, shrimp gut wellness and digestion, protect shrimps against pathogens. Okay. So we're providing the shrimp industry with leading edge solutions through bioaugmentation products and like probiotics and effective technology application. So that ends my presentation. Thank you and good afternoon.